Hello everybody. Welcome to the second video in a series of videos I'm creating about Net Results Soccer, covering the games, the custom card sets that I've created, which was in the first video. Today we're going to talk about the process that I use to set up my games. So the different files, all the way from setting up the lineups to getting ready to play. The next video I'll have should be a gameplay. I'm going to go through the process of setting up the San Diego Wave versus the Portland Timbers, a game that happened last year, and kind of go through my files, how I do it, how I set it up, all the way to the roller, to the card setup. So looking at that, the first thing I do is I start with going to, right now it's fbreference.com, so footballreference.com. I go there to get the lineups. I do games as played and the subs as played. So I need to go get the information from the game to get everything set up for my lineups. I used to use scoreboard.com, which I think is now livescores.com. They just recently changed their format and you can't, they don't show the players in the game in alphabetical order, and the rating sheets that I have to create my lineups are in alphabetical order. So it just makes it easier when I can go to a website that does this. So looking at the actual game on Football Reference, the first place I go is I look at the subs. So I see that Jody Taylor subbed in for Kelsey Turnbow in the 55th minute, and Doniak for Breedy, and I'm going to pronounce names wrong, so I apologize for that, and Ali for Jacobson. So these were the subs for San Diego and the time they came in. The subs for Portland are listed there as well. So I'd mark those down on my sheet as to when those come in. I'll show you the sheet here in a second. I can also go down further on the page and sort the players in alphabetical order so I can get the starters that were there for each game. So the ones that aren't indented are the starters. So I know I can mark those on my rating sheet to get them ready to be in the lineup. I do the same thing for Portland, so I can mark those as well. The way that the rating sheet looks, I'll pull that up right now, and sorry for the jumpy, but my rating sheet looks like this. Every team I create at the start of the season, I go through and it's alphabetical order. I have the P for the position. It's a numeric position number from 1 defensive to 5, which would be a straightforward. Their assist number. So this is an assist rating I create similar to the offense rating. I use this to determine who gets an assist on goals. The offensive rating, that's on the cards. You'll see that in the bottom left corner of the card. So you can see each player's offensive rating. You have Alex Morgan with a 94, which is really good. A 103 is great for Shaw. The defensive rating is listed here as well. And then I also create a fouls rating. The foul rating I use to award fouls to players on a straight foul reading or on a penalty kick reading. So for example, a player's card rolls, they get in the foul range, not a foul 1 through 5, it's a straight foul. When we play that before, we play by the rules, it says to award that foul to the player, to the defensive player on that roll. And as I played through time, I realized, that's not really a fair allocation of fouls just based on a 1 to 10 random. So I create the foul rating, put that into the score sheet or put that into my roller, and whenever a foul comes up, it will indicate based on random numbers and in their range who the foul is given to. So you can see here, so the subs are listed at what time they come in. I put that in. I'm not going to do that for you. I already had done that. And then I put who, or actually the sub came in at that time, and then the number that they get subbed out. Sorry. So Turnbow was the first player subbed out. Breedy was second. Jacobson was third. So I had the subs lined up, and then the ones are all for the starters. This also goes onto my score sheet, which then goes into my stat sheet, so I know what minute the player started, and that way I track how many minutes the player has played. So this is San Diego. Portland looks like this. So that was their starters, their subs. Then what I do is to get the lineups in the order that I want them. I'm going to highlight this, data sort, and I'm going to sort by the play, which is the number that entered the game. Then it goes by position, lowest to smallest, defensive player, highest to lowest, and then offensive player, lowest to smallest. What this does will put the defenders first and the best attacking players, or maybe not the best, but the forwards last, ranking them by defensive rating first, and then offensive rating lowest to highest. So I get basically the lineups will go defensive to offensive as I play. So I do that, sort that out, and there's the players that I have for this game. So that group will be there. Same for San Diego. I can do this, sort by play. Sorry, you can't see that. I'll put that there. You can see that there. And I sort. Once I have those, I go to the score sheet and I copy these and paste them into my score sheet. And you can see here, I had already done that to set up the game. I pasted Portland here. So the starters in order of 1 to 11. The 11th is the goalie. So 1 to 10 plus the goalie. And then the subs come in and they fall down below here on my score sheet. Same for San Diego. I get an overall offensive rating and defensive rating for the game. So San Diego is a 16.06 average offensive rating with a 6.91 defensive rating. Portland is an 18.98 offensive rating with a 7.43 defensive rating. So Portland is the better team, and they were last year. They are slightly better offensively, slightly better defensively. The last thing I get on my score sheet is the subs. So it automatically fills in the subs when I'm playing the game and a sub time comes up. I know that it's indicated here. I know who subs in for who. The last thing I'll do is I will take this entire bit of information, and I have some hidden information here that's on the score sheet, so I always go one row over, and I copy that, and I come over to my roller, and I will paste it over here on the side. I kind of don't have that shown, but it is over on the side of the sheet there. That fills in the lineups on here, and it's really not really necessary for my roller to look at, other than I know the players that are there and the subs that are going to be there. Now my roller is set. As you can see, it is changed San Diego and Portland as the teams here. It has started to already work with the assist and the foul ratings, the assist and the foul ratings for the other team. I have my corner kick allowed. A red means it doesn't go, and a green. A red means it doesn't go. Clear mean it would be a corner. Penalty kick allowed. If it's green, there's a penalty kick allowed. So I differentiated the colors. And I'll go over the rollers in another video and kind of how I progressed on that. But that's kind of how it sets up. And then finally, I have my subs that are here. When I play the game, you'll see how that works out, that the subs, when it hits that minute mark, it'll turn yellow, so I know that a sub is available. So I go from the website to find who's playing. I fill out my ratings file. I go from the ratings file to the score sheet. From the score sheet, I go to the roller. The last thing I have to do is create the cards or get the cards ready for the game. So let me open that up. And this is kind of how my card file looks for a game. Each team individually has a list of all their cards. I have stopped printing out cards. I put them only on the screen. I use a PDF cutter. I can cut them out. Actually, because I make the card, I print out individual cards. So each team has all their players here. I put them in order of where they're playing for the game. So you can see the defensive players up a little bit higher to midfielders, up a little higher to maybe attack mids, and then your forwards, and your goalie is down here. I put the subs here. There's the home team. Portland did the same. Defensive players to mids to forwards. Sophia Smith, 87, very good player. Their goalies here, their subs, and their team card. And then I come over and I load that onto my cards for the game. When I play the game, it'll be two monitors. So this will be on one monitor, my roller will be on the other monitor, and I go through. These chips I can use for different things. So this would be for endurance. If a player hits an endurance rating, I don't pull them out. I give them a penalty. Not a penalty. I have a performance degradation on that player. And so I could just take this and let's say Jacobson got hit, so I could put that and she'd be a -1 for that time. -2 on the performance. I have injuries. I have a foul rating. If you had 5 fouls, I did that. And then if there's a red card, I could put the red card chip on there. So I just basically, I used to play when I had the printed cards with some plastic game chips. I would put those chips on the card sheets that I had, but now I just do that. I replicated that here. So now I'm done. Now I'm ready to go. I can have the roller ready. I have the cards ready. I'm ready to start the game. The process doesn't take very long for me to do. So going through that, it really only takes 2 to 3 minutes to get the lineup set, to get everything ready to go. It takes me a little bit of time to put the cards in, but once you've done the first game, the lineups don't change that drastically. So it's really pretty easy to get those going as well. One issue I have had, and I've done this a few times, is I have put just changing the cards around. They aren't physical cards, so it's easy enough for me to take a card and duplicate it. So I could have Alex Morgan listed twice on accident. I've done that before. It's something that I have to look at when I'm doing. It's something I have to look at when I'm doing the cards to make sure I don't duplicate those players. It's something I catch myself with. That's really the only issue I've had. But I've been able to do 7 full replays, or 7 annual replays. I actually did an 11-12 during COVID as well, so I've done 8 full replays. This allows me to speed up the process. The one thing that it also does is at the end, let me see if I can go back to this. On my roller, nope, this isn't it. That's not my roller. I need to go to my stat sheet. Sorry. I will get there. There we go. On my stat sheet, I fill in the stats after the game's over. I get a box score. When I post my results, you see this. That will be the results I put up on the Delphi form throughout my replays. The stats are all in here. I just copy these and paste them to my Google Sheet for the stats. I have the team stats on the top. I have the player stats down below. My Google Sheet has everything. It's really all I have to do is copy and paste these pieces of information, and everything's automated and back in. So it's really nice. It goes pretty quick for me. It's allowed me to get a lot of games in. And again, I don't rapid fire the game. It sounds like I do, but I play every game out and I try to develop that story in every game, so it's kind of fun. So that's my process. Feel free to ask any questions below in the comments. I will go ahead and start hopefully recording the gameplay tomorrow. There was a question about endurance ratings, so I can cover a video on that. That shouldn't take too long. I could do that as well. But if you have any questions, go ahead and ask them, and feel free to give me any comments, and I will try to answer those as soon as I can. Thanks a lot. Have a good evening.